In my whole life, I've never been so mad at a group of young kids, so mad at them. In an instant, have so much hatred for young kids as I had yesterday watching this story, the story of James Lambert Jr., a 73-year-old Philadelphia man, a black man, 73 years old, who was handicapped, could barely walk, had a cane, and I also believe he was somehow mentally impaired. He was beaten by young kids, 7 young kids, preteen and teens, 3 girls, 4 boys, 7 black kids too. Beat this black grandfather to death, broke his skull, beat him to death. He died. He died at the hospital. And the crazy thing, yesterday 2 brothers turned themselves in, 10 years old and a 14 years old. Mind you that this tragedy, this crime, happened at 3 a.m. in Philadelphia. Who let their children, 10 years old and 14 years old, girls and boys, out at 3 a.m.? What kind of culture does that? What kind of mentality, what kind of parents? I never seen a crime so. It's hard even to who was to this tragedy. These kids, I don't want to do a Donald Trump with the Central Park files and say, hang them, do them this, do them that. I don't want to say that. Even though these guys, they're not the Central Park file. They're clearly guilty. They're on camera doing it. And at least the 2 kids that turned themselves in, most likely their parents turned them in, brought them to the prison. The other 5s, their parents probably hiding them, which shows that those parents not only irresponsible for letting their kids be out at that time, but they're also accessory after the fact. And all those parents should be prosecuted. I don't care if they're black, yellow, Chinese, white. Such parents should be absolutely prosecuted. Because if you let your kids, your minor kids, in the house by themselves, you can be prosecuted for it. So what about letting your minor kids be out at 3 a.m.? That's a prosecutable offense. Those parents, they're clearly not only negligent, they're criminals. I wonder how that 73-year-old grandfather was feeling, seeing his life being taken away by kids that only can be his grandkids or great-grandkids even in some instances. This is sad that we have this kind of culture. Any general culture of violence to all American demographic, not only black. But 3 a.m. kids out at 3 a.m., 10 years old, that's kind of specific to some neighborhood, not all black people, but it's a lot of black neighborhood. And people, that gotta change. That gotta change. Even then, adults out at 3 a.m., a lot of bad things can happen. Kids, those kids, they were so callous. If you watch the video, I'll link it up. If we watch the video, if you have the courage to watch it, I didn't watch it till the end. But it's clearly those kids are psychopaths. Raised by criminals.